Ladies and gentlemen, the team lineups for the 2026 Steph Catley Plate Final have been confirmed. For Caroline Springs, George Cross, we have in goals, number 1, Paige Daly. Number 5, Katrina Tsilikidis. Number 6, Grand Ferry Christelle. Number 10, Emily Tanaka. Number 11, Suzu Murakami. Number 12, Catherine Goff. Number 13, Cindy Lay. Number 14, Mao Kiritoshi. Number 15, Manaho Ogawa. Number 20, Alison Macbeth. And your captain, Olivia Barral. Substitutions for Caroline Springs are goalkeeper, number 21, Sarah Barale. Number 7, Minami Yamasaki. Number 18, Madison Horvath. Number 19, Kisa Mori. And number 30, Ella Tedeschi. For Craigieburn City, we have in goals, number 18, Hiba Taleb. Number 7, Betty Kusulis. Number 9, Kiara Zacarias. Number 10, Michelle Valentina Diaz Quinones. Number 12, Tamani Sato. Number 14, Rachel Alonso. Number 15, Diana Fresneda. Number 16, Annabelle Hosking. Number 17, Jezebel Strangis. Number 37, Minami Tomita. And your captain, Nilda Romana. Substitutions for Craigieburn City are goalkeeper, number 1, Monique Campbell. Number 3, Alicia Lilias. Number 4, Sophie Lagana. Number 5, Taylor Erikozu. Number 11, Caitlin Richards. And number 22, Jessica Russo.
Again, like injury or something, I'll try to chase it up for you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Looks grand, doesn't it? All right.
One of the best tracksuits I've seen.
Oh, it's incredible, isn't it? I saw it early doors. It looks insane. I love him. He's got his little self-esteem. He's a legend. He's an absolute legend.
I think I've seen some of his social things pop up here. He's a British guy, yeah?
Yeah, Irish.
Oh, they're Irish.
Big difference. Big difference. No, for them. More big difference for them.
Please welcome Caroline Springs, George Cross, and Craigieburn City to the pitch for the 2026 final.
Well, good afternoon, wherever you are watching, in Victoria, across the nation, or indeed around the world. And welcome on what is a truly, truly beautiful Bundoran Saturday, right at the start of August. What a truly special day we have in store as well. Kicking off a curtain raiser, if you'd like, on one of Football Victoria's finals days. The Steph Catley Plate, 4 teams within the state leagues who have gone incredibly well in the Nike FC Cup. The holders in Caroline Springs, George Cross, are looking to go out and defend their crown. They come up against the Craigieburn City side, who dealt with Bow Morris in a semi-final which went beyond to extra time, though they were able to prevail. For George Cross, though, they know an opportunity to truly, truly instate themselves.
Let's make some noise for the teams as they make their final preparations for the 2026 Steph Catley Plate final.
Truly instate themselves as queens of the plate. My name's Ethan Rigg. What a beautiful, beautiful day we have ahead of us. 2 teams who, in truth...
Just moments away from kickoff, but first we have a special moment lined up for both teams out on the pitch today. Let's all turn our attention to the scoreboard. We're excited to share a message from one of Victoria's very own Matilda's stars.
Hi, this is Steph Catley. Congratulations on making it all the way to the final. I'm so proud to have my name attached to the Steph Catley Plate, but one team lifted into the match. Unfortunately, I can't be there for the game, but I wanted to cheer you on from afar and wish you all the very best.
And fitting words from Steph Catley as well, of course, who this plate is named after. Caroline Springs, George Cross, wanting to instate themselves as queens of this particular competition. Won the inaugural one last year. They can, in truth, go back-to-back. Days that do not come around often. They will be wanting to make it theirs for a second consecutive year. They share the same league, these two, in State League 1 North West. They met earlier this season. Caroline Springs, George Cross drew first blood on that particular day. Craigieburn City, though, will know that when it comes to cup finals, form truly, well and truly, goes out the window. A smashing Saturday in this part of the world. 2 teams who are out of the western part of town. They then venture into the northern quarter. We will have a look at the starting lineups just before kickoff on what is truly such a special day, and what a way to start one which will follow it. Paige Daly for Caroline Springs, George Cross, who had penalty heroics this time last year. We'll start between the sticks. Katrina Salakidis, who scored the winning spot kick. Christelle Gromferry, Olivia Barale, who has overcome a little bit of an ankle knock to start today. She wears the armband as well. Emily Tanaka, Suzu Murakami, Catherine Goff, Cindy Lay, who's been a regular source of goals in the Nike FC Cup. Mao Kiritoshi, Manaho Agawa, and Alison Macbeth, who is a recent arrival from over in the United States for Craigieburn City. And well, Heba Taleb is entrusted over Monique Campbell, who started the semi-final. Betty Kasoulis, Chiara Zacharias, Michelle Diaz-Quinones, Tamani Sato, Nilda Romana has the armband. Rachel Alonso, Diana Fresneda, Annabelle Hosking, Jezebel Strangis, who started at centre-half in that semi-final, and Minami Tamita, who got it off to a terrific start by scoring incredibly early in that game. Craigieburn City knowing the importance of today. Already we've ticked beyond the point where Caroline Springs George Cross went ahead last year in the final. They scored remarkably early on an afternoon that set them off in the perfect stead. It was Minami Yamasaki who got them off to a golden start on a golden day after 11 seconds. Against Manningham United, a game that they went on to win 4-3 on penalties. Opportunity for these two today. Their first piece of silverware on the line. Caroline Springs George Cross come into it top and flying in State League 1 Northwest. 12 points separate them and Craigieburn City, who are in 4th in the table. Oh, this maybe could be the first telling chapter for both of these side seasons. Early opportunity for Sato, who was not able to get further forwards. Was tipped away from Murakami. Hosking, no way beyond Barale. Was recovered by Sato. Instead for Diaz-Quinones, who did well. Zacharias for Tomita. She in truth scored early against Beau Morris in that semi-final, direct from a corner. Just stolen at the near post, completely unmarked. Kick-started that night for Craigieburn City. It could not have gone better for them in the end. Though they know that today is well and truly a tough test of their own mettle. Here's a George Cross team who have been finding the nets in full force throughout 2026 in both League and Cup. No one scored more in the State League 1 Northwest. Eliminated, of course, in the Nike FC Cup in a 10-goal thriller against Heidelberg United, who themselves later on today will get a look at silverware against Essendon Royals. "22 goals they scored throughout that cup run. They have some defending to do early. Craigieburn City wanting a bright start. Ball was threaded into the channel, though was cleared well, and then when trying to get further forwards, Goff had no way beyond. Craigieburn City, though, knowing today that they are without Linda Sawa, who was the semi-final hero, scored twice, one in either half of extra time to get them here. Murakami couldn't find a way through. Found its way to Diaz-Quinones, was moved on for Hosking. The other way was Sato. A charge down the line was threaded for Alonso, who was in a foot race with Agawa, who was there to simply see it out of play. For Caroline Springs George Cross, they have had team news both positively and negatively of their own. Where they are with Barale, who was, again, carrying a knock, though was able to start. They are without Spiranovic, who's been a terrific source of goals in recent weeks. Scored a hat-trick not too long ago in league play. Made a brilliant start to the month of July. We'll be looking for a lot out of Goff, who has broken away and had Zacharias in retreat. Though her effort was one which had the sting taken out of it and allowed Hiba Taleb to gather. She searched long for Alonso, whose touch was tidy, though. He invited Barale to get a foot on it. Kiritoshi clipped it for Lay. Moved it out the other way for Salakidis. Down the line was Tanaka, who was warding off Sato. Agawa went searching. Salakidis had made the run. Hosking was watchful and was there to clear. Having wanted to make a bright start, Craigieburn City now have some defending to do. They had hustled her way beyond two, then had Hosking to go at and Hosking to go beyond. They steered it delightfully into the path of Macbeth, who just wasn't able to steer her effort more menacingly. Alison Macbeth, mid-season arrival. from over in the United States. Has made an instant impact really to life at Caroline Springs George Cross. Did start, her first start was in that cup exit against Heidelberg United and scored her first goal against North Geelong Warriors last week in the league. How they will be hoping she can give them yet another moment today. Macbeth nodded it on. Murakami couldn't quite. Was one on by Barale. Space had opened up for Tanaka. Salakidis with a deftly sit ball for Murakami. And it was well watched by Taleb in the end, who's already had a couple of bits of early action. First intervention that could have proved problematic, and then it was seized upon by Lay, who got ahead of Hosking. Couldn't find a way further beyond. Door was shut diligently in the end. Sato, who had got it from Zacharias, lost out. Agawa. Murakami looked for Goff, and Taleb just had a stumble. And a little bit of a slip, almost at the wrong time. Safe to be said, it's a beautiful day today. Hasn't quite been the case throughout the week. Been a very, very wintry end to July. But we are greeted with a bright start to August. Tidy ball down the line for Macbeth, who helped it further for Goff in a foot race with Strangis, which she will win and steer it invitingly. Zacharias got a foot in. Was recovered by Tanaka. Set in again with Denford Lay, who got round the backhand, scored. George Cross hit first in the final, inside 10 minutes. Beautiful ball to the back post for Cindy Lay, who timed the run superbly.
Goal for Caroline Springs, number 13, Cindy Lay.
Regular scorer in their Nike FC Cup run, now has her name engraved on possibly their biggest day of the season. They've made a habit of scoring early on this particular day. It took them a little bit longer than under 60 seconds that they had 12 months ago. Craigieburn City early have it to do and are looking to reply in kind, though. Hosking's ball was always asking a lot of Diaz Quinones. And again, it is the perfect nerve settler for George Cross. Who will be hoping that the script doesn't follow the similar way it did last year. But for Cindy Lay, what a moment for her. And here she is once more with Hosking to go at. Got a foot in on that occasion. Broke for Diaz Quinones, who had Agawa in retreat. Got away from Lay, looked to steer it with menace. Tanaka got it from Barale, steered it for Murakami, who was in a foot race with Zacharias. And sliding across to good effect was Strangis. And when they met in the league, it took beyond the halfway point of the first half for a breakthrough to be made. It will not follow the same today. Macbeth, tidy ball for Goff, who got away from Tomita. No way through Strangis, recovered by Barale. Was speared into Tanaka, who looked to steer it for Murakami. Away by Strangis, up by Alonso. Recovered by Agawa. George Cross have settled and have looked in truth to suffocate Craigieburn City. Manaha Agawa. Kiritoshi out for Macbeth. And again steered invitingly in the channel for Christelle Grandferry, who stood it up invitingly, and the header from Murakami almost looped over and in. It was nearly 2 in no time. Craigieburn City again, all at sea. Murakami had just got a yard for herself and also nearly flicked it up and over to inflict further anguish on Craigieburn City. Sato couldn't find a way through Salakidis. Perhaps there was a little bit of an eyebrow raiser for when Caroline Springs' George Cross left out Kisamori from the starting lineup, who'd been a regular source of goals, even on a day like this. I would have wanted someone so prolific, especially without Sporanovic. Oh, it's proving fruitful so far. Salakidis got in. Lay was giving chase. Was away by Hosking for Diaz Quinones. Annabelle Hosking, who was without option further forward. Paige Daly will invite the ball if it chooses to trickle out for a goal kick. It doesn't so. She too will have fond memories of this day. Came up huge in the shootout against Manningham United last year. Goss flick on, again wanted Murakami. Zacharias got in the way. Likewise did Kasoulis, just as Catherine Goff was looking again to try and get forward. Murakami was able to fashion a cutback, which Zacharias got in the way of. Caroline Springs, George Cross firing. Space again for Goff, who stood it up for Lay. Nodded only as far as Salakidis. Steered it over for Tanaka, who could not find a way beyond Hosking. Special day for Football Victoria. Over 1,200 tickets sold already. 800 here already for the curtain raiser today. A true stage setter on a magnificent day of football at the home of the Matildas. Barale got a foot in, recovered by Tamita. Hosking thumped it into the channel. Alonso gave chase. Agawa had led the foot race. Kiritoshi looked to set it for Goff, cut out by Tomita. Grandferry. Macbeth, Kiritoshi. Barale had dropped in nicely. Couldn't thread it for Tanaka. Flick on from Sato, though only fell for Murakami. And Barale gave Goff one to chase in behind. And Goff will get there first! And find a second. A mix-up in Craigieburn City communication. Taleb with some personal cost as well as a result. She, in the meantime, will be in need of some treatment.
Goal for Caroline Springs, number 12, Catherine Goff.
Though for Catherine Goff, someone who is no stranger to this part of the world. Played in many a big game. Played on this particular day many a time. Had done so with South Melbourne in the past. Now has a moment for Caroline Springs George Cross. Comfortably got there ahead of Taleb, who just hesitated at the wrong time. And is in some discomfort because of it. Monique Campbell is on the bench. And is maybe thinking about introduction earlier than she would have liked. Taleb is getting an extensive checkup. As the momentum of Goff took her into Haleb. There was no malice in it whatsoever. And Catherine Goff will just head over to make sure that Hiba Taleb is okay. Thankfully, it looks as though she is able to continue. Though for Caroline Springs George Cross, the perfect start. On a day where at times nerves can get the better. 2 up in 20 minutes. And have, in truth, dominated quite an early stretch of this game. Though Craigieburn City have got an opportunity to immediately retort. Alonso was away. Sato was making a late run. Was sorted out by Agawa and Salakidis. And now Goff's got an opportunity to go once more. Had layup with her, had 2 arriving. Looked to thread it for Tanaka. The challenge from Zacharias was a good one, and she was the recipient of some belated contact and wins a free kick. For George Cross, the start of this game is really echoing the words of their manager in the week, who had a chat with us at Football Victoria. Davide Galtieri said it certainly was a privilege to lead this group back to this stage once again. They were prepared, focused, ready to embrace the opportunity, and they're certainly showing that. Goff is on the charge once more. Clipped it to the back post for Murakami. Kasulis inadvertently kept the door open. And Murakami proved to be incredibly menacing, and as a result wins a corner. George Cross have flown out of the traps. They are in search of another set-piece opportunity which could prove promising. Whipped into a dangerous area. Macbeth was one who got a good launch. Fell for Hosking, who had to clear. Craigieburn City weren't quite able to deal with it. It was a fraction too high for Alison Macbeth, who looked to get on the end of it. Salakidis went down the line in search of Cindy Lay. Well, recovered by Tomita. Zacharias, Diaz Quinones. Couldn't drop it for Hosking. Goff had room to turn. Hoskins had a lot to do. Goff steered it menacingly. And for Taleb, just had a moment, or it looked as though it could have been awkward, though readjusted well and gathered coolly. Salakidis steered it for Macbeth. Dropped off for Kiritoshi, now Agawa. Tanaka was tidy. Salakidis searched for Cindy Lay and found her superbly. Barale, Agawa. Salakidis wanted to have a go at Sato. Steered it for Lay, who got away from Sato. Tomita backed off. Lay had 2 to contend with and was seen out of play. Craigieburn City have just not yet shown that attacking endeavour which got them here in the first place. First half after they got that goal early against Beaumaris, they did settle well in that semi-final. George Cross have not afforded them similar opportunity to do so. Experience is a helpful thing for Caroline Springs, George Cross, Paige Daly, Katrina Salakidis, both were on this day last year, both had a really important role to play too. They have dealt with this stage at its most heightened. And perhaps have allowed this team with guidance to settle. Here's Murakami, who has looked lively. Steered on for Gronferry, who in truth steered it too long. Nodded on by Sato. Tomita, whose touch was heavy, invited Tanaka to go and win it. Agawa. Will just be one where, with 2 early goals, George Cross feel as though they can settle a little bit. Murakami left it. Macbeth was in chase. Zacharias came across. You think back for both of these two, the way that their particular cup run started right back at the start of the year. George Cross started emphatically, a 14-0 win in round 2 of the Nike FC Cup. And then it defeated North Geelong Warriors 2-0 to Cindy Lay, who got things going today, was on the score sheet in that fixture. And won it back off DS Quinones. Salakidis looked for Tanaka. Hoskin got a foot in. DS Quinones. Tomita. Zacharias, Strangis. Again for Hosking. Lay was too tough to go beyond. Zacharias, Hosking. Craigieburn City just cannot get out. Goff couldn't quite flick it on for Lay, who had space open up. Steered for Alonso, dropped off for Sato. And the space for Romana in behind, though the flick was a good one to relieve the pressure from Christelle Gronferry, who then goes and gets it back from Daly. For Nilda Romana. Frequent source of goals in the Nike FC Cup run that Craigieburn City themselves went on. Had a bright start to life in the Cup before falling at the hands of NPL side Alamein. Romana, a regular source of goals in the early stages of the Nike FC Cup for 2026. She will need to be a source of similar inspiration. Likewise, will Diaz Quinones, who was too a frequent scorer in cup competition. Kiritoshi to steer it invitingly in the channel. Strand just got there, then gave it away to Macbeth. Gofford run the channel and was found smashingly. Takarius to go at, steered it for Tanaka, who slid. And it was cleared away by Tomita. And again, Heba Taleb had gone courageously to go and meet Emily Tanaka, who looked to steer it beyond. And there is just another trek for Craigieburn City. And Chiara Zacharias, who slid late in case it had trickled further towards goal, was then worse off after a collision with the frame of it. She again is all right to continue. Macbeth, Kiritoshi, Granferry. To steer it for Goff, who couldn't get it under. Strangis, Diaz Quinones, Tomita. Just allowed Macbeth to go and win it. Kiritoshi was calm. Granferry warded off the press from Freshneda. Space had opened up for Murakami. Steered on for late, looked to get Goff in behind. Was hit with a fraction too much. And Taleb was quickly onto it to gather. Strangis, Zacharias. Tanaka read it ahead of Hosking. Her touch was heavy. Zacharias will get another go. Hosking hugged the touchline. Sato equally so. And they got out of a bind quite well. Fresneda. Delightful ball for Diaz Quinones. Alonso was central, and Diaz Quinones just saw a sight perhaps of Daly a little bit from home. And fancied the spectacular in wake to halve the deficit. Had Alonso centrally, who was wanting the opportunity, had just found a yard for herself. Likewise had Lei, who clipped it invitingly for Murakami. And the slide from Taleb was a good one. Strangis cleared it. Diaz Quinones' touch was heavy. Barale came across. Sato steered it. Kiritoshi away from danger. Olivia Barale was called from Alison Macbeth as well. Salakidis. Lovely ball for Murakami, who steered it on for Tanaka. Flag had stayed down. Had Zacharias to go at and couldn't go beyond. Half an hour of red and white delight so far. Salakidis Murakami wanting to enact more of that. Zacharias again stood firmly in the way. Lei opened the yard. Zacharias took a tumble. Strangis across and away. Craigieburn City have had the longer route to this day. Started with a win in the Nike FC Cup after extra time against Monash University. And had back-to-back 4-2 wins in round 3 and round 4. The latter, they dealt with Faulkner before falling at the round of 16 at the hands of Alamein. That's semi-final, though, in the Steph Catley plate. Again went to extra time. Again they got it done against Beaumaris. And at the moment have it to do today. Tamita got up here, must have got the faintest flick on the way through. It will be a goal kick. It's been a terrific cup run up to this point for Joshua Jugo, for Paul Jugo, for Isho Haskell as well, who's been a part of the coaching staff. They now must dig deep to find something in order to get themselves back into this game. Diaz Quinones was given a clip from Barale. If they were to pinch one before half-time, the dynamic of this day would shift entirely. Hosking long, flick from Diaz Quinones. Agawa got away from her, got away from Sato, and then cleared. Holding off was Diaz Quinones, got it back from Hosking. Turned into Tanaka, who she became entangled with. Fresneda. Sato couldn't quite, Salakidis got a foot on it. Alonso have not really been able to make many inroads so far. Have Craigieburn City. Cindy Lay's taken a few more yards initially than she was afforded. And we'll leave things for Salakidis. Lay with a good read and a really, really good ball for Macbeth. Space had opened up for Grand Ferré on the far side, which she has advanced into. Murakami was down the line. There was no way beyond Kasoulis. Christelle Grand Ferré then got up to ensure that Romana couldn't have a run. Diaz Quinones again lost out. Tanaka. Barale. That's a lovely ball for Goff, who tried to steer away from Tamita. Tanaka got further forward. Zacharias came through. Romana. Kasoulis. Return for Nilda Romana. Nowhere beyond Grand Ferry. The 2 goals added today on top of the ones in league and prior cup competition. 70 across the entire season now for Caroline Springs George Cross. Top scorers in league play by a long run. And here on a good run is Sato. So back for Romana. Tomita. Sato once more. Space had opened up for Alonso for Diaz Quinones. The ball was too heavy to find either. Salakidis. Agawa. That's a lot of Goff. Zacharias was then encased in red and white. Goff benefited, though could not get further forward. This will be a real test of Craigieburn City resolve, as they have just settled into their best spell of this game thus far. Have made a habit at times of leaving it late, particularly at the weekend, just gone against St Albans in the league. Trailing with 20 to go. They rescued a point in the final minute of the 90. Side who can hang in games. We'll still be hoping those kind of heroics aren't required today. And if they are to get on their way back, we'll do so earlier. Truly terrific run of form, though, for Caroline Springs George Cross, who 6 straight wins and haven't lost in a month and a half, looking to make that 7 today and extend that run. Only 3 defeats in all competitions this season as well. On course for a double, as it stands, not just today. They stayed top of the league last week, ahead of Mill Park, who are closely contesting them. Hosking in the channel. Diaz Quinones made it awkward for Agawa. Got in ahead quickly, though the ball trickled out of play. Kiritoshi steered it superbly for Goff. Space had opened up for Grand Ferry. Goff had gone beyond. Strand just got a foot in, just at the right time. This game as well, billed as a true battle from out west. 33 kilometres or 20 and a half miles if you're from an imperial persuasion. Separate these two clubs geographically. At the moment, Ley and Goff are the separators on this Saturday. Fresneda looked to steer for Alonso. Went and recovered it. And now the space opened up for Romana. Away from 1, away from 2. Barade was too much of a third. Goff. Murakami. Again, looked to clip it for Ley. Over the back was Tanaka. That's a good, really good challenge from Taleb, who had to get it right. Otherwise, she could have been in a spot to bother herself. Space for Annabelle Hosking, who again wanted Diaz Quinones. Salakidis got a shout from Daly to let it trickle. Barale. Kiritoshi. Murakami chopped it off for Grand Ferry. It's been a half that so far has been marvellously managed by Caroline Springs George Cross. Club whose women's programme in truth has really come to the fore in the last 18 months. That was exemplified this time last year. I'll be hoping to continue their charge as a Western powerhouse of sorts. Salakidis. Tidily for Tanaka, who had just gone a little bit too early. Club who in and of themselves are just one shy of celebrating 80 years next year. Founded in 1947. Since have embedded themselves firmly out west. Murakami again look to spear in the channel. Goff will make it work. Stranges in retreat. Goff went early. Tanaka had 2 to contend with. Zacharias took it tidily under pressure. And again, they were without option further forward. Ball was whipped in for Lay, whose touch was delightful, and set it for Salakidis, who will drive wide. Superbly held up, though, by Cindy Lay, who had a quartet from Craigieburn City, who each were wanting to order off. Katrina Salakidis did not maybe catch it as sweetly as she would have liked. Spit for Diaz Quinones, who took it deftly, couldn't find Romana. Well, won by Macbeth. Agawa. Kiritoshi. Set back for Daly. Agawa speeded for Kiritoshi once more. That's a gorgeous ball. And the space had opened up for Grand Ferry. Goff had gone, likewise Lay. Zacharias across once more. Kasoulis then had Christelle Grand Ferry to go with. And was able to marshal her out of play. Nodded on by Grand Ferry. Goff. Stiff for Sato. Alonso was down the line momentarily. Set back for Hosking. That's a tidy ball for Diaz Quinones, who had Sato around the outside. Salakidis slid in to really good effect to stop her foray forward. Flung long for Romana, whose touch was heavy. Invited Grand Ferry to go and win it. Murakami. And showed too much of it to Fresneda. Diaz Quinones with 2 up with her. Away from Murakami, was blocked by Macbeth. And Diaz Quinones then kept it going. Kasoulis able to whip it further beyond for Romana. And again, then just couldn't get further forward. And it was Diaz Quinones, first on the score sheet for Craigieburn City when these two met in league play. Her first real look at the afternoon as we took into 3 minutes of stoppage time. At the end of a first half that,
The official has signalled there will be 3 minutes added on.
in truth, has been one of particular George Cross jubilation. Grand Ferry wore one and won a free kick as a result. A side who, as said by their coach Davide Galtieri, have shown, and their performance so far is a true reflection of the consistency, the commitment and the standards that they have continued to set from last year. They have not wavered one bit. Craigieburn City are looking for a Late way to round out this first half. Enjoy, though. Macbeth wins a free kick. There's a half that they have controlled and dictated early. Macbeth threw it, asked a lot of Goff. T.S. Quinones. Away from Lay, away from Goff. Hosking. Again had Goff for company. Could not get further forward. From down the line for Sato, up by Salakidis. T.S. Quinones hugging the touchline. Beyond Tanaka. Salakidis slid in. Manami Tomita. Kasulis. Way beyond Murakami. The buffer at the moment, the same as what it was when it finished in State League 1 Northwest action between these two. George Cross winners by 2. They are 2 up currently. Zacharias. Sato. Look to steer for Alonso. Away by Kiritoshi, who will have the final flick of a first half that Caroline Springs George Cross have well and truly controlled. They, as it stands, are halfway to a second consecutive Steph Catley plate.
The home of the Matildas, and the score is Caroline Springs George Cross 2 and Craigieburn City FC 0.
Cindy Lay.
With you soon for a big second half in the 2026 Steph Catley Plate Final. In the meantime, be sure to make your way down to Grill and Grease and early birding for food and drinks.
Had started things superbly. Catherine Goff seized her moments. And on a day of moments, it is those two in particular that hold their way. It's half time at home of the Matildas. It's Caroline Springs, George Cross 2. Craigieburn City 0. George Cross are halfway there. 4 back-to-back Steph Catley plates. A super opening 45 for them has got them on the cusp of their first bit of silverware for the campaign. Final messaging for both sides. Craigieburn City, what will be hoping to be a rallying cry. Caroline Springs, George Cross, though. No, simply the same as what came before is required. Cindy Lay started things. Catherine Goff made it 2. In a half that was truly painted in red and white. So, Craigieburn City have got a mountain to climb. Both of these sides. State League 1 Northwest, one from the north, one from out west. It is all on this for both. For George Cross, 45 minutes from greatness again. For Craigieburn City, 45 minutes to see if not only they can salvage the afternoon, but if they can go and save themselves. Side 2 in cup competition have gone to extra time already this season. They know it would take a mammoth second half effort in order to force something similar again. Halfway, they never really found the rhythm. Any opportunities they could create were quickly curtailed. And one where George Cross in particular just were able to thwart whatever was thrown at them. Paige Daly had quite a comfy opening set to this game. Should be hoping the second 45 follows in the same truth. They did concede late on last year in the Steph Catley Plates against Manningham United. Goal that took that game to a shootout. Now they have a bit more of a buffer. They will be hoping to avoid the same fate as they did 12 months ago. Kasoulis got under it. Good take from Diaz Quinones. Ball was far too heavy for Romana, who gave up chase as soon as she started to get going. Has truly been an afternoon for Craigieburn City of nearly moments. They must find inspiration. Romana had 2 to go around. Kasoulis recovered it. Kiritoshi will see it out of play for a goal kick. It's a day where, despite what it's to do, and despite what they have to do, Club President Paul Jugo, again when we spoke with him in the week, said that they were excited for this opportunity. Focused on sticking to how they've played all season. It is what had got them there. That resolve is truly being tested and will truly need to come to the fore if they are to get back into this game. Strand just looked to steer it down the line, though couldn't. Flung down the line. Ball was whipped in with depth by Murakami. No too much depth for anybody to go and get on the end of it. Well, the start of this second half as well. Both teams exited the tunnel to kick things off as they did at the start of the game. No changes at half-time. It would have been for a couple who were carrying knocks or who sustained knocks in that half. You think Fahiba Taleb, who was the recipient of some hefty contact as Goff stole in to score Caroline Springs George Cross's second goal. Must also think of the George Cross skipper, Olivia Barale, who's carrying an ankle knock. Helped on by Murakami. Goff again gave up chase. Scoreless so far, something Craigieburn City are not used to in cup competition. 15 in the cup for them, 28 in the league, 43 in all competitions. And hoping today in particular not to be shut out. Though for Caroline Springs George Cross, and in particular for Paige Daly, today opens the opportunity for a 7th clean sheet as Goff is in behind, though quickly out of room. And Daly, who's been an ever-present, started all but 4 cup and league games, and was, of course, the hero here last year. This afternoon's painted a different picture for her so far. She's not had too much to do. Alonso Kasoulis gave Romana one to chase, and she will get on the end of it. Gronferry retreat, left one in, and will give away a free kick, and for it too will be the recipient of a yellow card. Christelle Gronferry, the first name in the book for the afternoon. Craigieburn City with an early second half free kick. Fresneda was interested to take momentarily, though left it. A congregation at the back post. Romana's whip was dangerous. Quinones nearly got in the chaos that ensued. George Cross got it clear. Agawa was scrambling. Lovely ball. Diaz Quinones couldn't find Fresneda. Away by Macbeth. And now Goff has got a chase on. Zacharias in retreat, happy to clear. That the first real moment of George Cross concern, though. Right at the start of the second half. Lovely from Tanaka. Goff went beyond that. Cutback was intended for late. Tomita the only one there. Zacharias, Sato. Minami Tomita. Poked it on for Fresneda. The space had opened for Kasoulis. She had Romana. Gronferry got in the way. And Christelle Gronferry swiveled then, gave it away to Diaz Quinones. Well, one by Murakami. Gronferry. Now Barale. Agawa. Now the other way to steer down the line was Salakidis, who couldn't quite. And the footing was a good one. It's where they have been so good so far this afternoon. Just whenever Craigieburn have looked as though there could be some menace for them, Caroline Springs George Cross have just been able to ward them off. Strangis searching. Romana gave chase. Grumferry read it well. One back for Fresneda. Oh, well, give it a go from range. Oh, not quite. Give it the accuracy. And while the effort was being taken on, there was quite a collision. They're worth 3 down in truth. All in need of attention. Lay was one. Grandferry was another. There is mutual and shared concern. Strangis is also down near the halfway line. Opportunity for Craigieburn City to have a reset. They have started this half brightly. Just as all are being held back to their feet. And thankfully all seem okay to continue. It was Diaz Quinones for Craigieburn City who was down. That was cause of particular concern for them. Cindy Lay and Diaz Quinones as a pair will check on each other's well-being. So both are momentarily down to 10. Lay, Diaz Quinones are waiting to be waved back into the action. As Goff charges forward, they both are allowed back on. Murakami search for Grandferry. It's a gorgeous ball to find her. Oh, the cross was not one which could pick out Goff. Strangis and wanted Kasoulis, just could not quite find her. They have struggled to play out at times this afternoon. Have Craigieburn City. Borale, shout for handball, waved away. Tanaka took over though, lost it. Tomita, Sato. Waited on the space to open up. Tomita dropped it off. Zacharias, who's had a busy day. Fresneda looked to steer it. Salakidis came through. You sense perhaps a change or two could be imminent for either of things to stay as they are. Diaz Quinones in firmly. Fresneda then returned it. And possibly a Craigieburn City opportunity. Grandferry cut it out well. Agawa was under pressure. Her flick was recovered by Diaz Quinones, who got away from Borale, then got away from Murakami. Steered it on for Kasoulis. Romana, who was charging. That was taken coolly by Agawa, who cleared no further than Tomita. Clipped in for Alonso, who was searching for Sato. Neatly done by Macbeth, who evaded the press, though then could not steer it for Goff. Nodded on by Grandferry. Macbeth Barale, that's nicely done. Lei. Kiritoshi. Cindy Leary found once more. Kasoulis in retreat. Goff was giving chase. Kasoulis chose to clear. Think of the firepower on the Caroline Springs George Cross bench. Kisamori, who's been a regular source of goals this season in both League and Cup. Announced herself right at the start of the campaign in super fashion. Was on a hot streak early, has seen goals still flow regularly. You just wonder if and when they will turn to her. She is up on the touchline, not receiving any instruction as of yet. Murakami. Had to ward off. Salakidis wanted to poke it for Lei. Zacharias kept her cool. Likewise did Taleb. Given away to Tanaka. Steered on for later twist and turn. Goff was central. Tomita got a foot in the nick of time. Fresneda dropped it off for Sato, who set it for Alonso. Kiritoshi watched her well and now can drive and can clip a corker of a ball for Emily Tanaka, who can hit the bar. Comfortably their best look of the second half. Right on the hour. Tanaka thumped it against the uprights. And then flicked on for Goff. Murakami had gone round the outside, though the ball had too much on it. What a golden look for Emily Tanaka. To treble their leads. And to maybe, just maybe, start to put things beyond Craigieburn City a little bit. Up by Macbeth. Goff had a striking arm on the way down. Question posed, what have Craigieburn City got? So far this second half, they have played with more endeavour and adventure. Though know they need something tangible from it if they are to cause any unrest. Diaz Quinones hugged the touchline too tightly. Here's a George Cross side who have been here before. A group who are edging closer and closer to the first piece of a double that they're after. Grand Ferry will saunter over and leave it for Goff to take the throw. Flung on for Macbeth's flick. Away by Tomita. Still they cannot get out. Think of the experience this side has had. Catherine Goff, a perfect addition. Katrina Salakidis, Paige Daly. Know this squad, know this club well. It is showing at the moment. Oh, here is Fresneda, who maybe has got a first opportunity to drive. Though the ball split Romana and Alonso. Agawa. for Salakidis, and Goff is down, which is why Salakidis let it run. And it's really not in a good way. Catherine Goff undergoing some treatment just outside the Craigieburn City area. There is just a look of concern on the George Cross bench that she may not be able to continue. Cindy Lay has just given the bench a glance. Both Olivia Barale, Christelle Grandferry are overlooking. This is not a good sign. This is not a good sign. Stretcher may very well be required. And we hope in its truest form that for Catherine Goff, this is nothing serious. Though it looks almost imminent that she will play no further part in today. Conversations now on both touchlines, and George Cross, who may have been prepping a change anyway, will now be forced into one. Out of their own misfortune, out of Catherine Goff's misfortune, Kisamori will be brought on. Though we hope for Catherine Goff it is nothing serious, and of course are wishing her the quickest and best of recoveries.
Substitution for Caroline Springs, George Cross. Number 12, Catherine Goff, is being replaced by number 19, Kisa Mori.
Goff makes way. And we really, really do hope that that is not an ominous sign. Kisamori will come on in place. So there is the beat for Caroline Springs George Cross, a slightly sombre note on a Saturday that so far is going to plan. They are now afforded, though, the injection of someone who is a frequent finder of the net. Again, once more, though, we really hope that Catherine Goff is all right. Maury's looking to be introduced with immediacy. Zacharias to turn around. She got a foot in. Salakidis' throw. Flung it on for Cindy Lay. One back by Sato, who has an opportunity to stream forward. Was still wanting to get away from Lay. Couldn't, though retrospectively could win a free kick. Craigieburn City, though, it is becoming now or never territory. Hosking's free kick, nodded away. Covered by Strangis. Set on for Kosoulis. He looked to clip it round the corner. Macbeth was well placed. Murakami. Lay for Mori, who helped it on for Tanaka. The nod in return was terrific. And Mori's in behind. That may well be that.
Goal for Caroline Springs, George Cross, number 19, Kisa Mori.
Having just been introduced, kissed home by Kisa Mori. And that may very, very well be the one to settle it. It would take a minor miracle for Craigieburn City from this point, though for Caroline Springs, George Cross, it looks as though once again it is going to be their day. Fresneda with Tomita. Fresneda was given a clip and wins a free kick. And maybe a last-ditch moment. If they are to get one back, if they are to get themselves within two once more, you never know what nerves could be played. Romana and Fresneda holding courts. They are the two over it. It will be Fresneda's free kick. Inches. Inches from one back. Danny was scrambling. Had it been on target, she may not have got there. Was that to be their opportunity to get back into this game? This today, of course, a curtain raiser. Nike FC Cup final will follow later on early this evening. Though in the meantime, Mori is motoring. Murakami's up with her. Has got the other side of Strangis. Former making late runs. He was helped further away. And then finally clear, though no further than Salakidis. Sato came away from the chaos. Set it down the line for Alonso. Macbeth got a foot in. Fell for Agawa. Gromferry again looked for Mori. Strangis can recover. Kosoulis had dropped off for her. Could not be found. This is not the only time these two will meet one another, with the potential for silverware on the line. They ought to round out the season on the final day of the State League One Northwest against one another. Craigieburn City make the trip out to Caroline Springs, George Cross, on a day that could for them be one that coronates them as champions, if the current outlook is to stay as it is. So there is good opportunity that George Cross could do the double against the same side. Craigieburn City will of course have an opportunity to have implications on that title race too. Mill Park are close behind. And are in fact a massive next fixture for Caroline Springs George Cross. Next weekend, the 9th of August, before Faulkner, Altona City and Collingwood. The Craigieburn City themselves, Uni Hill Eagles, Sydenham Park, North Geelong Warriors, Mill Park on the penultimate day. So they have opportunity in the final fortnight of the campaign to enact its champion. Out of the candidates who are the two front runners right now. Strangis speared it. Kiritoshi did well. Macbeth recovered it. Mid-season move for Alison Macbeth by George Cross that has proved inspired from Toledo University. Has been steadfast in the middle of the park. Good read by Romana. Alonso. Grandferry and Agawa do superbly. Mori. Murakami. Tanaka is charging beyond that. Likewise is Lei. Away from Strangis though is Murakami. When it came to the strike, didn't catch it as sweet as she'd like. Barale, rare loose touch. Diaz Quinones, that's a gorgeous ball. Romana hung to the back post, and the flick on from Fresneda was one that caused some concern for a moment, though not one which she could connect cleanly with. Diana Fresneda still searching for a way forwards. Back in retreat to clear was Tanaka. Two changes for Craigieburn City being prepped. Down on their touchline. Ball whipped in. Early shout from Daly, who claims without any fuss. Kaylin Richardson, Jessica Russo. Looking to be bought into it. And for Caroline Springs George Cross, Madison Horvat also is watching eagerly from beside the fourth official. Agawa. Lovely ball for Tanaka. Space for Murakami again, who had two up with her on the right, one of whom was Macbeth. Steered it dangerously across, cleared away by Strangis, recovered by Murakami, who clipped to the near post, and Taleb will have a comfy gather. Barale ahead of Alonso, recovered by Salakidis. Kiritoshi, that's a tidy ball. And space again for Murakami, who again wanted to clip it in behind, though couldn't find neither of Tanaka nor Mori. Those two changes now becoming three for Craigieburn City. Kasulis, Romana. Stid for Sato. Macbeth got a foot in ahead of Romana. Kiritoshi contended with Diaz Quinones, who couldn't bustle her way further forward. Barale cleared no further than Kasulis. Alicia Leleas, also one who's waiting to be introduced. Murakami, Alison Macbeth. Lay with a super ball for Salakidis. Beyond her was Mori, though Kisamori was always asked a lot of. Hosking cleared no further than Salakidis, who will whip once more, though Taleb will see it out of play. And so now it is time for those changes to be made. And for Cindy Lay, who got things started this afternoon, her day will come to a close. Craigieburn City, Betty Kasoulis, Kiara Zacharias. And finally, the afternoon. Two of Diana Fresneda will reach respective conclusions. 10 to go, maybe a last throw of the dice. Way further forward though. For Richards, who started the semi-final against Beaumaris. Romana Tomita. Turn for Hosking.
Substitution for Craigieburn City. Number 15.
Sato.
Diana Fresneda is being replaced by number 3, Alicia Nalias.
Sato once more.
Number 7, Betty Kasoulis is being replaced by number 11, Caitlin Richards.
Tomita, tidy. Spin on for Alonso, who has got a golden look and a brilliant challenge from Grand Ferry. Out of nowhere, Craigieburn City had a glimmer. Beautiful ball to find Rachel Alonso, who couldn't quite get a shot away in time.
Substitution for Craigieburn City. Number 22, Jessica Russo.
As Caroline Springs, George Cross will reply in kind with 2 changes. Ella Tedeschi will make her way on.
Substitution for Caroline Springs, George Cross. Number 13, Cindy Lay is being replaced by number 18, Madison Horvath.
Likewise will Minami Yamasaki. Murakami, Tanaka to make way.
Another double substitution for Caroline Springs. Number 11, Suzu Murakami is being replaced by number 30, Ella Tedeschi.
Yamasaki, whose first touch was one to give it away. Tomita. Sato. Ramana. Look to steer it down the line for Leleas, who couldn't quite keep it alive.
And the final substitution, number 7, Minami Yamasaki.
And it's Minami Yamasaki, who, within 11 seconds last season, got things going on this day. Perfect start to set them on way to an inaugural Steph Catley plate triumph today. They are 7 minutes plus stoppage time from a second successive. Unless Sato and Craigieburn can cause the latest of issue. That's a beautiful ball. And Leleas has timed the run well. 2 converging in the area. Yamasaki was there to enact the block. There are 2 more changes for Craigieburn City. Getting ready down on the touchline. As Richards' ball in was cut out by Barale. Spit it on for Mori. And the room opened up for Horvath to charge into. In retreats was Strangis, whose challenge was a good one. And those 2 changes can now be made too. Sophie Lagana, one of them. Taylor Erikozu, the last.
A double substitution for Craigieburn City. Number 17, Jezebel Strangus, is being replaced by number 4, Sophie Lagana. And number 14, Rachel Alonso, is being replaced by number 5, Taylor Erikozu.
Those last two changes waved on by fourth official Liana Georgi. Anna Leakopoulos is central today. That's Harley Finlay and Giselle Spetzer round out the refereeing team, who have done a terrific job. I've had a quiet day too for the most part, as that's clipped in for Kisa Mori. Set for Macbeth, who will whip it, and whip it wonderfully.
Goal for Caroline Springs, number 20, Alison Macbeth.
What's a way to round it out? The Steph Catley plate being shined for a second successive season, being adorned in red and white for the second time running. And Alison Macbeth maybe with the pick of the bunch. Always wanted to have an influence on a day like today. Someone who, since arriving in mid-season, has not just been important of the title charge, has two today, engulfed herself on a day of real Caroline Springs George Cross jubilation. Second goal for the club in all competitions since arriving, and what a day, what a time to get it. And it has been their day, start to finish. And still, they are to be the only ones who have their name etched on the plate. Craigieburn City, though it has not been their day, their run here was magnificent. It comes to an end in a fashion that is not reflected in truth. Their cup run across both the Nike FC Cup and the Steph Catley plate, though George Cross are looking to add one more. Macbeth fancies a double. It nearly fell for Horvath. Cleared away for Diaz Quinones. Can they take something with them at least? The ball slid beyond. Daly will get there quickly ahead of Leleas. Good turn from Salakidis, who smashed it for Horvath, who will steer it on for Mori. Flag has stayed down. Kisamori is marching forward. Horvath the only one with her. The drive will ricochet. Mori will recover it quickest and win a late corner. Livia Barade sauntering over as we are ticking towards the final minute of the 90. Can George Cross take a fifth with them? Barale's whip was dangerous and awkward to deal with. Also will yield another corner. Barale take 2. Flat to the near post. Cleared away by Lagana. One back well for Salakidis. Tomita got a foot in, prevented it from finding Mori. Diaz Quinones lost out. Set by Gromferry for Macbeth. Had Richards to go at, battling by the corner. As we are to tick into 5 minutes of added time, right at the end of the 2026 Steph Catley Plate.
The fourth official has announced there will be 5 minutes added on.
And for the second season running, bar an active intervention from the footballing gods, it will be staying out in the west. Barale's late corner. Set with height, and it was momentarily for Taleb. An awkward gather. And she was able to do so without too much fuss, and just as she went to resume things, we'll be given a late free kick. Maybe a little bit of an entanglement spotted by Anna Leakopoulos. Hosking. There must still be the Craigieburn City wonder of can they take a goal with them. There is late concern for George Cross though. Barale has stayed down. Salakidis is charging in the meantime. The space for Tedeschi opened up. Who had Tomita to go around. Effort is drilled away. Barale's back to her feet, thankfully. Salakidis has taken over. Slide in ahead of Sato, away from her. Tomita was one too many to go beyond. Sato, that's a lovely swivel. And to evade 2. Could Craigieburn City find a late goal? Romana couldn't find a way beyond. Salakidis covered for Hosking and was thumped by Lagana. Romana. Hosking, who was hustled by Mori. Tomita let it run. Macbeth ricocheted it. And then cleared with more purchase. The Nike FC Cup final to follow this. Essendon Royals, Heidelberg United. To round out a terrific day out in Melbourne's northern quarter. End of a curtain raiser is going to be one that will live long in the memory of Caroline Springs, George Cross once more. Tomita with tidy footwork. Cross was Diaz Quinones, who has battled today. Beyond Horvat, set it back for Richards. Tomita, returned by Sato, out for Diaz Quinones. Showed too much of it to Yamasaki, who got a foot in. Swung down the line for Horvat, who was ushered out of play. Kisamori still looking to twist and turn her away for an avenue for a fifth. Given away for Horvat. Diaz Quinones. Unable to get away from Macbeth. Hacked away by Hosking. Recovered by Barale. Yamasaki. Ahead of Eriku. The flag was up for Mori, who will find the net, though it won't count. The containment of George Cross joy is becoming scarce. They are ready for their moment, for their day once again. Dramatic as it was last year, for the second straight season, Caroline Springs George Cross will lift the Steph Catley plates.
Congratulations, Caroline Springs, George Cross. They are your 2026 Steph Catley Plate final winners. The official presentation ceremony will commence shortly on the field of play.
They were superb. Start to finish, they were superb. Cindy Lay got things started. Catherine Goff made it too. The second half saw another double for them, rounded out by Alison Macbeth, whose goal was brilliant. And so for the second time, they are the queens of the Steph Catley Plate. On a day that's crushing for Craigieburn City, it is one of Georgie jubilation. Ceremony will convince shortly for those in red and white who are deserving, who have etched themselves into their club's history once again. Full time at the home of the Matildas. Caroline Springs George Cross 4. Craigieburn City 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will commence our presentation for the 2026 Steph Catley Plate, the second edition of this competition. Thank you to everyone for attending today's Steph Catley Plate between Caroline Springs George Cross FC and Craigieburn City FC. We'd also like to extend our gratitude to the entire football community, both clubs, administrators, players, coaches, match officials and volunteers for not only today, but your ongoing support to grow the game in Victoria. We want to thank our official partner, Nike, for their support in bringing together this incredible day for women's football today. We'd also like to thank our major sponsors, La Trobe University, Victoria State Government, and our support partners, Sharp EIT, Vinage Customs, Sports Aid, Chanel, Badges and Medals, for making today's event possible. Now for the presentations. Can we please welcome to the stage FV's Executive Manager of Operations and Membership, Frank Karatsas, to represent the referees' medals. Starting with fourth official, Liana Georgiev. Assistant referees, Natalie Finlay and Giselle Spezza. And referee, Anna Leakopoulos. Now I would like to call the head coach of Craigieburn City FC to say a few words before presenting his team with their medals.
Hi, I'd just like to say thank you for everyone to be here. Thanks Football Victoria. Well done Georgies, great game. You deserve it. We all tried our hardest, both teams, and good luck for the rest of the season in our normal season. We'll see you again one more time, I think. And well done Craigieburn, it was a great effort, girls. All right, thank you. So we'll pull out some medals. Can I get Tommy? Jezebel. Kiara. Tama. Betty. Caitlin. Cami. Rachel. Sophie. Taylor. Hiba. Annabelle. Jess. Ali. Milda, Captain Milda. Lucky last Valentina. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Craigieburn City FC. And now, to present our Steph Catley plate winners with their medals and to say a few words, I'd like to invite the Caroline Springs George Cross head coach up.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here today. Thank you Federation for organizing this one. Obviously, credit to Craigieburn, fantastic women program going on over there. Actually, I'm very proud of the whole state one competition this year, very, very tough. Nike Cup or Steph Catley plate has been a fantastic experience. We are very proud to be winning for the second year in a row. So credit to the girls. Yeah, thanks obviously George Cross and the president committee and everyone involved, the sponsors to let us doing and performing and training every week very hard and with all the support of the George's Fund. I guess it's time to give the medals. I'm doing everything by myself. Beautiful. I'm going to call Olivia Barale, captain. Kiritoshi Mao. Paige Daly. Sarah Barale. Alison Macbeth. I hope I'm not going to butcher any name. Christelle Ganferri, Katsarikidis, Ogawa Manao, Murakami Suzu, Muramaki Suzu, Morikiza, Minami Yamazaki, Cindy Lai, Tanaka Emily, Madison Horvath, Ella Tedeschi, Catherine Sikic, and obviously Catherine Goff. I hope she's okay. She's not to the hospital, and let's hope she's alright. Coaches, staff, etc. Thanks obviously the staff, Marco, Rennie, Derek. Thanks Chabet, thanks Maria for all the support, and thanks everyone.
Now to present the winner's pennant and plate, please welcome Football Victoria Chair, Dr. Angela Williams.